Hello, my friends. This is Gary Hibbs with Unleashed to Lead, and I want to give you a word from the chair. You know, it's a really simple word. And when my life was caving in and crashing, I noticed and was led to a word in Scripture, and the word was want. W-A-N-T. And it's fascinating to me. There's a couple of verses in the book of John that talk about, do you know what you want? Do we know what we want? When you think about that, do you know what you want? Have you ever sat down and really thought about that? You think, well, sure, I know what I want, but do we really? You know, John the Baptist and his disciples were in Bethany, and Jesus was there, and a couple of John the Baptist disciples started to walk after Jesus. And in the first chapter, John 1:38, this profound question is asked. Jesus asks them, what do you want? What do you want? They didn't answer the question right there, but they were intrigued because John the Baptist said some great things about Jesus, and they wanted to follow him. They said, where are you staying? They didn't answer the question right there, but we need to answer that question. What do we want? You know, and later on in the book of John, in the 5th chapter, you may remember this in reading the scripture, is that there was somebody who was an invalid who was by the pool of Bethesda. And when the water stirred, you know, the first one to the water would get healed. And Jesus asked this invalid who had been in this condition for 38 years, he says, do you want to get well? Do you want to get well? You know, when I first read that, I thought, well, Jesus, that's kind of a cruel question. What do you mean? 38 years? Do I want to get well? Well, sure I do. Well, apparently, Jesus, being God, knew that the person who was an invalid for 38 years had to really want to get well. You know, sometimes what we really want, by evidence of our behavior, is to stay in our comfort zone, to stay in our sickness, to stay in our unwell condition, because that's what we know. It's more comfortable. But we have to answer this question. Do we want to get well? What do we want? And that's the beginning of vision. And we have to have a real desire. We have to really want that. So I'd ask you today, have you really thought about what is it that you want? And have you created a vision for the future, for that preferred future that you want? Think about it. Great being with you. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking with you soon.